So I was looking at this Steelers New England game from yesterday and how this was a catch. And this reminds me of a game from last year, and it involved the Steelers, the same exact team against the Cowboys. And the outcomes were very similar with the last two drives by each teams. Okay, so if you go back to the Steelers game from 2016, Week 10, the same exact spike by Ben here. This time he threw the touchdown, but then Dallas ends up coming back because of a face mask, and then Dallas ends up winning this game with like 30 seconds left. But if you take a look at the money on that game, Dallas and Pittsburgh, you see all the juice here, 120 and 130 across the board. So this game was definitely getting all Pittsburgh money back in 2016, okay? That is why Dallas ended up covering. And just to take a look at the consensus here, you see here with this Pittsburgh-Dallas game, almost 80% of the money was taking Pittsburgh on this game against Dallas. So this was a very lopsided game last year. And that is why Dallas ended up coming back. And they got all the money off of Pittsburgh. So if you take a look at yesterday's game with New England, same exact situation where this was a touchdown. And just to break it down, here's the Instagram picture. I mean, clearly a touchdown. He was not touched. So he's allowed to have his knee down here because he was not touched. Okay, this is complete touchdown here. So if you take a look at this spike, same exact spike by Ben here, and this time it was intercepted to get all the money off of Pittsburgh because, again, everyone was going with Pittsburgh in this game because of the fact that New England, they lost the previous week to Miami Dolphins, okay? They didn't look great against Miami at all, but let's not forget that Miami lost to New England in a blowout, earlier in the year, okay? So that is why New England lost that game. I mean, the money was heavy on New England anyways, so Miami ended up covering that game and winning. But in this game right here, the public likes to go with what happened in the previous game, okay? So that's what they're going to be thinking. They're going to think that Miami, looked really good against New England. New England doesn't have a good defense, and Pittsburgh's been playing really well lately. So they're going to go ahead and take Pittsburgh in this matchup, okay? So as you see here, that how the ball was intercepted, okay? Before that, he acted like he was going to spike the ball just like the previous year, but they didn't call a timeout on this one. So this ball was intercepted, okay, when they could have just kicked a field goal and went into overtime, okay? So a lot of strange things happened in this game, but it all comes back down to the money, All the money was taking Pittsburgh, so, that's why this kind of stuff happens, okay? So let's take a look at this game here. New England and Pittsburgh. Okay, they had New England as a 3-point favorite. The line was not moving. It was holding. It was actually going down a little bit toward Pittsburgh, okay? So that was a good sign for New England because the money was not pushing New England as a favorite higher and higher and higher. So most of the money was taking Pittsburgh here. That is why New England ended up covering. But Pittsburgh, in reality, should have won this game, okay? But they controlled it, completely controlled game, okay? You see here with this touchdown, this should have counted as a touchdown. And, Pittsburgh was on a really hot streak right now, so they should have definitely won this game. I could understand why a lot of people were upset about this outcome. But, when there's money involved, you're going to get different outcomes. And let me just check to see how much money was on Pittsburgh here, the consensus from December 17th, okay? You can find this information on sbrodds.com, okay? As you see here, okay, completely lopsided. Not as lopsided as the one from November last year, 2016, but it was still pretty lopsided. A lot of money was taking Pittsburgh in this game. So that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to show you these percentages and how these games are controlled. Same exact result from last year. Very similar if you go back and take a look at the last two plays in both of those games. So I'll be back with another video. So comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you then.